In Los Angeles, the nation's second largest school district will now close for 2 weeks starting Monday. Across the country, at least 21 million kids now home from school.
Closing schools is always the last resort because of all the negative impacts.
And while many schools are adding distance learning, that only works if every child has access.
Not all 53,000 students have online access or a device, a computer. So if we can't provide that online learning for all of our students.
Hi there, what's your name?
Helen Yan.
I am Jaden Brostrom.
My name is John Curry.
I'm Thomas Payne.
Tandy Frazier.
I'm Brian Sanjon.
What grade are you in?
I'm in 12th grade.
I am a freshman.
I am a junior.
And I'm a senior.
11th grade.
And I'm in 9th grade right now.
Do you know what happened 3 years ago today?
The world shut down.
It was like when we first shut down and started like social distancing, all that, I think.
I do not.
That is when the world shut down due to COVID.
No.
3 years ago today, COVID-19 struck or hit officially.
What grade were you when that happened?
I was a freshman.
I was end of 6th grade, so.
I was a freshman. Do you remember where you were when you found out that school was canceled for a week?
I was at home.
I was at my dad's house at his dinner table with his girlfriend.
I was in, I forgot the teacher's name, but I was in the Spanish class, and she told us that it was going to be canceled for 2 weeks, which we all thought was just a little bit drastic, and then after it was 2 months, and it just went on from there, if you know.
How long did you think the initial shutdown was going to last?
I kind of like had a feeling that it was gonna last a while because I had like family in China who were kind of like doing it for a few months already. So I thought like probably like May, at least.
I was like, all right, 2 weeks off, have fun with friends, you know, just hang out, and then more weeks, and it kept going.
I believe the 2 weeks, and then when like it kept going, I'm like, okay, we're gonna be here for a while. Do you think that you missed out on anything at school because of the shutdown?
Oh, I missed out on plenty. Sports were closed down because of it. I was bored as everything. There's nothing to do. Never thought I'd get bored of video games in my life, but for once I was.
Most definitely. I mean, the first 2 years was like my freshman and sophomore years, which are supposed to be like the most fun years of high school, but
I believe I missed out on a lot of sports I could have done, and school experiences, like coming back into school was very tough for me because I didn't have that many social experiences that I typically would have, or I haven't grew up with my friends as much because I was staying at home the whole time, so I missed out on a lot, I think.
What were some of the things that you did to kind of cope with being locked at home?
I went on some bike rides with some friends, some runs, did some of that, just mostly outside stuff.
Let's see. I ate. I watched a lot of shows.
I did a lot of reading and painting and crying.
Do you think that going full remote and the whole shutdown and anything, do you think that had an impact on your learning or any lasting effects?
Definitely during the time when COVID happened, I was failing school drastically, and it did have some impacts of laziness and stuff like that. I didn't feel as motivated as I typically would have because of COVID, so yeah.
So I already sucked at learning to begin with, so when we went full remote, it made things so much easier. I will not be explaining my methods, but it made it easier.
Definitely, I think so, yeah. Like at home, if there's any homework on like the computers, I'll easily get distracted, just like when it was COVID.
No, I don't think at all, actually. I think I thrived a lot during like COVID remote learning, and I think it's taught me a lot of like good values and lessons that I'm going to be able to use for a while.
Do you think you would be the same person you are today if you never experienced the shutdown?
I don't think so. I think that the shutdown personally like helps me like become a better person and like get more involved, and I don't think I would have had that if I was just like in a standard like high school setting.
No. I think that like it definitely changed my perspective on a lot of things, especially bonds with friends and family.
Ooh, that's hard to say. I would probably say no. I mean, probably most of what dictated my personality during shutdown is what media I consumed, which I probably would not have the time to do all the stuff that I wanted to do when we were in full like classroom, because I don't know, school probably would have been a lot harder for me had we continued with school the normal way it was, and I probably would not have like had the same, I wouldn't say opportunities, probably I wouldn't have the same missed opportunities, I guess that'd be the better way to say it. I would have had less time to do what I'm doing now. Is there anything that you think we did during COVID that we should go back to doing, like breaks mid-class, half-day Wednesdays, or anything like that?
I like the emphasis on like extracurriculars that was happening during COVID. Like I think for sure, since like people had a lot of free time, they were able to join a lot of like new clubs, and I think a lot of the upperclassmen like stuck with them. But I don't think the process is the same for a lot of like underclassmen, and I feel like that just like needs to be happening more.
Maybe like the online stuff, some of that, but not really.
Okay, I really enjoyed mask breaks. You know, it was like a nice mental break for instead of just being stuck in a chair, we could like walk around the building, for example. It made it so we just didn't have to sit down. We could move around, stretch our legs.
Bring back half-day Wednesdays now.
No.
Allowing people to experience school, like doing online school when they're at home, when they're sick, or doing surgery or injuries, I feel as though it was a very good idea, because now people don't miss out on school. And sometimes when you're trying to do that from Google Classroom, it's hard to do it because you don't understand and the teacher's not there to help you. So just doing an online class, or even having like a computer so kids can see what's going on in the class, would really help.
Did you expect to be interviewed today?
Well, when I walked by and they were like, "Do you want to be interviewed?" I kind of was like, "Yeah."
I did not. I just kind of followed Bryan here and was like, all right, let's do it.
No, I didn't.
Not at all.
No.
No, not at all, actually. I just saw it and I thought it would be a good idea to share my opinion on it.
It has been a long road back for many schools and families since March 2020, when the pandemic shut things down. Most went to remote learning, in some cases for more than a year. While some students, teachers, and families liked it, many others didn't, and there were deep divisions over when to fully reopen in-person learning.